Okay. Let's get this going. Okay, now there's 3 people. Okay. You wanna ask? Okay, now there's 3 people. Okay. You wanna ask? Okay, now.
Oh, you want me to ask questions?
Okay, I'll just get Seth.
Okay.
Okay,
Oh, you want me to ask questions?
I'll just get Seth.
Okay.
Hello?
Good morning, sir. Okay. Well, I'm kind of getting put on the spot because Randy told me not to come up with any questions. Good morning, sir.
That's not true.
You kind of did. But anyways, moving forward. Put on the spot because Randy told me not to come up with any questions. Yeah, you kind of got interference there.
It's gone.
Nice. What's something in general for, I don't know, like the people that are going to be tuning in, what's one of the questions that was, I know Randy got lots of questions on different subjects, and what's something on one of the subjects that we could talk about, like whether it be health or relationships or anything like that? What was the most common of the group? And
Weight loss seems to be big.
Okay.
So, you don't have to exercise all the time. Be a personal trainer, get a personal trainer to lose weight. You just have to see food as nutritious, full of vitamins, which are a made-up thing, but whatever. See it as good for you, your body wants it, your body needs it. A piece of pie is just as nutritious as a salad. It just depends on how you look at it. Back in the Neanderthal times, they ate whatever they found and it was all food. It was all good, so nothing was worse or better. It was just based on preference of taste. And you have to have sugar to survive, so how can something that you need to live be bad for you? It doesn't make sense. Your doctors are all crazy. Don't seek out nutritionalists. Don't go to doctors for diets. And exercise only when it's fun. Go with people who are positive, who are maybe a bit more in shape than you to push you. Buy some new workout clothes, but don't do it when it feels like a chore that's not fun. Okay, we have questions. Brenda says, how do we know if we have energy blockages to love or money? Are you poor? Do you have a husband? No? Well, maybe you're blocking it a bit, or not asking in the right way. Abraham has a really good emotional guidance scale. So, look at it, and where are you with money? Where are you with love? If you're really low, you're not going to attract it, or you're not going to attract a good version of it. So, do writing on it to raise up higher until you're at, like, happy. And then rewatch The Secret. Lots of people are talking about money on that one. They go out, they see a gift they like, they want it, and then somebody gets it for them without them asking. They see checks coming in the mail, instead of bills, and all of a sudden they're getting random refund checks or random government checks or random checks. And if you see your wallet is full and heavy instead of empty, then it's going to be that way. Always try and carry some cash with you, even if you don't plan on spending it. Even if it's change, just so you have the weight of money in your wallet. Write lists of things that you want to buy. As soon as I have the funds, I'm going to get this, I'm going to get this. Because you can't attract large amounts of money if your only plan is to have it in a bank account. You have to know how you would spend it, invest it, save it, give it away, donate it, whatever. Like, plan your dream vacations, plan your house remodel so that you can get the money to fund it. With love, you do the same thing. Get high up enough on the scale that you can attract a partner who's at the same level. Put yourself out there. When you go to the grocery store, talk to the guy in front of you. Go out for drinks with friends and talk to guys, bring them over. And just take a risk, because if you don't, you're just going to be by yourself, and what's the fun in that? Ask friends to set you up. Ask coworkers to set you up. Start looking at your friends. Maybe there's a friend you've always liked, but you've never made the move because you guys weren't vibing at the same level, and now you are. So find people from your old high school on Facebook. Go to a high school reunion. Just start doing things so that you're out meeting people. You can't meet someone if you're sitting at home watching Netflix every night. So intend it, and you'll naturally start attracting men. There's this magazine article, Law of Attraction magazine. The one girl thought she was chubby and no guys liked her, but she did some work with a counselor, and all of a sudden she's at the gas station, and football guys from high school are now hitting on her and asking her out, and nothing changed except her view on herself. So see yourself as desirable, and you'll start having them magnetically come to you. Now, Rashonda says, how to bring more money into my business. Print off a bank statement for your business or income or whatever, and add 5 zeros to it, and post it on the wall. But make it a number that, maybe if you like number alignment, make it a whole bunch of 9s. If you have a lucky number, put it in there. Make it a big number, but something that is reasonable. And when you talk about your business to people, always tell people it's flourishing, it's doing well. I think I'm going to have to hire more people. And always talk about it in the positive, busy, it's flourishing. Look at other businesses and see how well they're doing and think, my business is just as good or better as theirs, so it naturally has to be that busy, making that much money. And do writing on it, just every day write, my business makes lots and lots of money. My business is flourishing. I have to hire new people because my business is doing so well. I'll never have to work again. I can retire early because I'm making so much money. And again, with the money thing, how are you going to spend your money? How are you going to invest it? Because once all this money rolls in, you have to know how to work with it and where to put it. Okay. Xenia says, hi Seth, I feel so close to manifesting my job. What do I do to get it faster without being in the neediness? Have you interviewed for this job yet? If you have not, go through the steps of picking out an interview outfit, preparing for it, what kind of questions do you think they're going to ask. When you go to the interview, you're going to shake their hands, you're going to sit down, how's it all going to feel? And it's really important to, how does it feel? And once you're there, you answer all the questions, it all goes really well, but at the end, make sure you ask lots of questions. Finish it with questions so that you flip it so that you're now interviewing them. Does your company have continuing education? Is there room to advance? What kind of benefits do you have? What kind of blah, 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 blah. And are there training days? Are there this? Is there company holidays? Whatever. Just keep asking lots and lots of questions so that you've now changed the table and you've turned the dynamic. And then when you leave, keep on that high, that hopeful, this is my new job now. Look around the building and think, this is my new place of work. When you leave, pay attention to the commute, because do you take a bus? Do you walk? Do you ride a bike? Do you drive? Do you carpool? How do you get to work every day? Where can you go for lunch around that area? And just see yourself as being there. When you go home, write down, I got the job, they called me, I was the best candidate, and write down your name, the job title, the company, and that's how you'll get the job. Whoever wants it the most lines up with it. Randy used to take 10 interviews until he finally get one company wants to hire you, but then one day she was in the vortex and she went and applied for 3 or 4 jobs, interviewed for all of them, had one caller back, wanted to give her, it was for a computer tutoring job, so they wanted her to come in and help teach a class to see how she did, which is pretty much a job offer. And another one offered her the job, she said no, and another one offered her the position, said she was the #1 candidate, which made her laugh, and begged her to take the job because she said, no, there's another job I'm interested in and I want to pursue that. And they're like, what can we do to get you at this job? And she was laughing. She's like, I don't even want to know how much you're paying because I want this other job. And it was really funny to her because she never had so many people want her to work for them so badly. So it just changes on, you have to see yourself as being desirable, valuable, and a company is needing you. And then it's the next logical step. Well, they won't be able to go on without me because I'm just perfect for this position. And that's how you line up with it. It doesn't matter if you're the most educated, because Randy ran into a lady in a Starbucks one time and she was talking to an old friend about how she just couldn't get a job. She had a degree, but it seemed like instead of getting a degree, now you needed to have a master's. And this lady said, always apply. Oh, because it doesn't matter. I was the only one who didn't have a master's, who applied for a job. Everybody else had a master's, and I got it. And it said a minimum requirement of a master's. I don't even know how I got an interview. But because she was so personable and wanted it the most, she was the one who got the job. So it doesn't matter how skilled you are. It matters how well on you get with the people interviewing. So do some research if you can, if you know who you're interviewing for. If you're answering questions where you need examples, well, maybe you find out that one of them really loves a certain hockey team. Make it about hockey and throw that in there. And they're just subconsciously going to like you. But an hour before the interview, I would meditate, get ready, see it going how you want to, seeing how you have all the answers for all the questions. It wasn't even difficult or nerve-wracking at all. It felt easy. It felt like a conversation with an old friend. And just see it going your way. Just being easy and just another part of your day. Okay, Brenda says, I understand the beginning of time. I think in ways that have recently awakened to me. What I don't understand is how the individual soul progressions and the expansion of the universe work together. Well, you all come from source energy, so that includes the universe. The earth even is different energies. Mountains are different energies, trees, oceans, grass, desert, it's all different energies. So for the earth to change, it's a combination of your influence on it plus all the energies in the earth. And each planet is also energies. It's different souls wanting different experiences. All of the stars, the Milky Way, comets, debris, everything in the universe is different souls. And there's multiple universes past yours, which are all different. So the influence of all the different asking and wanting and desiring of all those different planets works together to create a universe that flows, that's, providing a safe place for all these people to get the experiences they want and learn the skills they came here to learn. So it's like ebb and flow. It's like a yin yang. It all works together. Sometimes there's misfires, like when there's a big tsunami or an earthquake or a volcano explodes, but at the same time, whoever's energy is in the volcano is working together for the experience of what does a lava flow feel like. And then anyone who's around who experiences it wanted to see it, or was so fearful that they manifested seeing it. And if anyone, transitions from it, well, they're looking to go out by way of some big dramatic geographic thing. So everything happens for a reason. Everything is working out properly. And it's all of the asking combined. So if all of you are asking for a US president who is sane, well, maybe Trump doesn't end up winning, or maybe Trump has a breakthrough and he goes from this crazy, wants to win so bad that he's lost his mind a little bit, back down to his business level, and is able to reasonably lead a country and bring jobs back and bring money back and knock down the debt without just doing his personal agenda. Or perhaps Hillary, who's very into children and schools and women's rights, is taken a bit more seriously, and with help from her number 2 in command is able to do all the business aspects and lead the company properly, or the country. So there's 2 different versions of how this goes down. You will experience one way, and another part of your personality will experience the other president, because there's multiple realities within your reality, and you experience all of them, and it's your higher self who kind of guides all of it and oversees all of it. And when you transition, you can tap into each of those experiences when you're curious about them, but at this time you have to just be in one to keep it sane in your mind. Otherwise you kind of, on this earth, you can't experience multiple things at once. When you progress on to the next level of life, that's when you'll be able to live a couple at once, and it all, so it doesn't get confused, it all stays in its each lane. Yes. We've run out.
What do you mean by living multiple lives in one?
Well, you would have your personality split into 3 almost, where you're living each one and you're kind of overseeing it and you're tapping in to whichever one you desire. So let's go with Trump wins, Hillary wins. There's some kind of brawl, rebellion where neither allowed her in office, and there's temporarily Obama continues until they find a new candidate.
Okay.
So you live in whichever one you want to live in at the time. So let's say you want to go with Hillary. So you hang out in Hillary's for a week. Then you decide, I'm kind of bored, let's go see what Trump's doing. Then you pull yourself out of that. You're still living it, but the main part of you that's here right now goes off to Trump. And then you go to Obama's. You'll just be able to tap in and out. It's kind of like you'll be your soul just pulling out and going into your different physical selves.
Okay.
But again, that's when you're way more experienced. You've progressed on from Earth life. You go to this higher life where, Trump, Obama, Hillary don't exist. You're in a different existence, different people.
Okay. Very good.
Brenda, when we're experiencing one of the three choices, so we have the same souls around us. Your soul will be the same. The lives will be fairly parallel. There will be differences, obviously. But you're always with the same souls. Because when you come to Earth, you come in clusters or groups. So look at your siblings, your parents, your cousins, your grandparents. All of these people will be the same. They'll just take on different roles. So you are the mother this life. You have a son, you have a daughter, you have the grandparents. You go into the next life. You're the grandparent. You have all these. Your kids are now married, and then your grandparents are their kids. You go on, you're a cousin to your brother, and your daughter is another cousin, and your aunt is your son, and they just all change because different roles help you develop different characteristics. And by coming in with the same souls each time, even if they're a bit more spread out or one or two go on, it's a comfort thing and it helps you to grow quicker than if you were with an entirely different group every time. It would just be too chaotic. So you come in these clusters and they often parallel with other ones and cross over. And sometimes you don't come with all those people, you just come with one or two. But generally you come with the same souls, you're just in different roles.
Okay. What happens when people sort of get stuck? They almost feel like they're in...
Eva has a question. I'm going to copy it. Okay. Eva says, what advice can you give people who are worried about global warming? It's a made-up thing. The Earth naturally goes through transitions and changes to accommodate whatever's occurring. So, if the sun has moved closer, or there's tons and tons of oil in the ground heating it up, or all the cows' gas is creating all this extra gas and warming everything up, that's just natural. The Earth will just naturally warm, but the Earth will never become to a point where it's a bubbling hot mass that kills you all off. It just doesn't work like that. If it were starting to head that way, there would be enough energies that came through that would create like an ice age. And I mean, not that extreme, but there'd be huge, widespread, massive snowfalls. Everything would cool down. And then once it was cool, then the Earth would warm up and it would go back to normal. There's always something to level out the playing field. There's no such thing as global warming, but because everybody keeps talking about it, thinking about it, they're creating more energy and momentum behind it. So it's continuing to stay warm, to have all these clues of it, but it's not a real thing. It's just... it's like a fad, a trend. When people get bored and move on to the next thing, it'll simmer down, and then all of a sudden, oh, we're not having as warm of summers or as warm of winters. That's kind of weird. And then no one will talk about it anymore. It'll just pass till the next lunatic wants to create another stint, but it's not a real thing. You're just it's more, people are asking for warmer weather because they realize life can be easier. It doesn't have to be this negative 40, 4 month long unbearable winter. It can be a negative 10, negative 20, fairly warm, not that much snow, easy winter, and you still get the same results. You still get to go trapping, snowboarding. It's still the same. So people just are asking for easier weather.
That was just what I was gonna jump in there, Seth, and just quiz you on was obviously it's the asking of the people. Like people look at like the new people that are coming up nowadays, and they say, oh, they've got it easy, and the winters used to be tougher back in my day, and all that stuff. And
well, they just didn't know how to ask.
yeah, that's it. And
It's
not a
when
bad
you
thing.
expect, oh God, winter's coming, it's gonna be horrendous again. Well, yes, it will be.
Yeah.
But if it's, oh, it's gonna be winter soon. I love when it snows. I love when it's cooler out, but it's nice and it's still sunny and it's easy. Well, then that's what you get.
Nice.
But when you're raised expecting winter to be horrible, cold winds, frostbite on your face, you just believe that's what's going to happen, so it keeps perpetuating. But now that people are asking for something else, that's what happens.
Nice. Okay. Thank you, Seth.
Eva has another one. What advice do you have for young people who don't know what direction to go in their lives? It doesn't really matter where you go, because you're always going to end up where you're meant to be. It just might take a bit longer. So, go to a career day. Call up companies and ask if you can do kind of like a take your kids to work day, where you just follow someone and shadow them for the day and see what their job's like, because you're trying to figure out what you want to do. Do research and what kind of jobs intrigue you. Do you want to start your own business? What kind of business do you want? Do you like fashion? Do you like farming, working with your hands, traveling? Well, what kind of jobs can you travel with? Tourism, a travel blogger, how do you do that? Safari guide, how do you do that? Just start traveling and exploring different skills, and try automatic writing. Guides help me find a career that I would love. What kind of job would I like? What kind of skills am I really good at where I could excel in a career? And just keep asking for clarity on it, and then you'll end up going to the mall with friends and turn a corner and you'll see some company like a cruise ship hiring brand ambassadors, or hiring day guides, or whatever. They're hiring people. So maybe you apply and you get to go travel and work on a cruise ship for a year or two. It's just like it's like going to summer camp. It's just a whole bunch of young people working on a boat, entertaining people, and everybody's having fun, so it's a really positive atmosphere. Maybe you start getting inspiration to write, so you go and take it to a publisher, or you go to a newspaper and you start getting published, or you have a blog online and people are taking interest, and then you become a writer. You can do whatever you want, be successful at whatever you want if you're in the vortex, but just think of what has always interested you, especially as a kid. Ask your parents, what did I want to be when I grew up? Because often kids who want to be a police officer, or detective, or firefighter, well, that usually sticks with them. They're usually interested in that for a reason. And it might be worth your time. It might be still interesting to you for something to pursue now. So just ask for clarity and talk to people and ask people what they do for a living, and maybe that intrigues you, and maybe you go follow them at work, and maybe it's something you want to get trained for and try out. And know that nothing's permanent, so even if it doesn't work out, just try a new career. Brenda, can we assist mass consciousness to grow, or is it already arranged? No, you can. Positive asking and influence is much, much stronger than negative. So let's say people are all worried about this cold winter coming up. They're all really upset about it, but you are the one person who's very positive and very happy and knows that it will be good and it won't be that bad and it's going to be really easy and really enjoyable. Your influence alone will make a big deal and it'll shift it. And if you get more of that, because you don't even have to voice it, you can just do it on your own, put your energy towards it behind the scenes. There'll be others doing the same, and through the combination of all of you, you can influence winter to be, an enjoyable experience. If you talk with others who are all wanting a president who can lead a country and knows what they're doing and is qualified, I don't care who it is, as long as they just are able to do it, well then by the group effort of you, especially if you're all together, wanting and asking in the right way, not kind of whining about it and dreading it, but asking, then you can shift things. Doesn't take much, but if you have 100 people, you can shift the entire election. Suddenly people will be inspired to vote for somebody else, and then that person who's going to do the best job gets elected. So it's just not asking necessarily for specifics, but for what you want. So if you want the city you live in to start doing really well economically, don't ask, I want the grocery store to get more business, I want these people to come work here, I want city council to be better. Just ask for, I want this town to be great again, I want this town to do well, I want this town to be somewhere people want to come, I want people to want to live here, I want there to be no talk of money problems, I want everyone to be happy and excited and positive and enjoy living here. And then those specifics will just fall into place without you having to specify. The grocery store will start doing really well. People will start coming through and staying at the hotels. Maybe a snowboarding mountain opens up. The mill that was always closed down suddenly opens up, and now you've got all these people needing housing and more people coming in for jobs, and now the grocery store is doing even better, and the drugstore, and there's more people in town. So there's more events that are happening, and people are getting inspiration for tourist attractions, and maybe a fair comes for a weekend. So it all works out. It just depends on how you see it and how you ask for it and what you're asking for.
There's a question from Scott on that.
Okay, Scott says, can you tell me more about automatic writing? How do you know if you're connecting with beings who are in your best interest? When you do automatic writing, it's your inner self, so it's not, random personalities, like it's not Abraham or Seth or whoever, unless you're asking for that, but when you just decide to do automatic writing, it's just coming from your higher power, your source, from within, your guides, so it's never going to be, like, sinister. And to do automatic writing, it's very simple for some, and for others it takes more time. Meditate first, and then when you're meditating, just kind of, feel your hand moving, and allow your hand to be moved if you can. And then grab a new notebook that you like, grab a pen that you like, and at the top write, what advice do you have for me today, guides, or Something simple like that, like just general. And then maybe write, I'm asking my guides to allow information that I need to hear come to me easily and flow through this pen. And then wait, and then start writing. And then you'll feel it different ways. So you'll either feel your hand just start writing, or you'll see the words in your mind and you'll want to write them down, or you'll hear the words and you'll want to write them down. It just depends on what works better for you. And keep going for as long as it's comfortable, maybe 10-15 minutes at first, maybe half an hour. And just keep asking questions, because the more they give you, the more questions you'll have. One of the girls did it the other day, and, well, how do I make friends? How do I get better at talking to people I don't know? How do I get better at automatic writing? How do I get questions answered? How do I make money? How do I get this iPad I want? It doesn't matter what you ask. You can ask whatever you want. There's no, like, shallow questions. If you ask about how do I get an iPad, well, it's what you want, so it's valid. And you can do automatic writing in public and no one have any idea you're doing it. You almost go into a trance, like with channeling. Someone else comes through and it's someone else, and then you snap out of it. And when you're automatic writing, you're kind of in the zone and you're writing and you're focused, and maybe your eyes zone in and look a little different to someone who knows you. And then when you're done, you kind of snap out of it. But no one would know, really, if you're doing it wherever. So if you're on the bus, you could do it. If you're at work and you have a break, you could do it. If you need clarity on a subject, like, should I move forward with this business deal? Well, do some automatic writing on it. And it's a really easy way, if you don't channel or know someone who channels, to get answers right away. Melly says, I feel like I am doing well in law of attraction, and I am wondering what I can personally do to get consistently better and better every day. Are there any specific areas that you can see I need improvement in? Lots of people can read about law of attraction and logically understand it, but they aren't quite able to practice it. You can, but there are some ways where you could do a bit more writing on it, perhaps. So, for you, it's important to stay in the vortex and to stay happy and to stay uplifted. So, with the emotional guidance scale, where are you? Check where you are. If you're lower down, raise yourself up. And then, instead of thinking that you need to do things and you always need to be doing a process or practicing it, just allow it. Just go through your day, be grateful for things that happen, see things that you enjoy and appreciate them. You'll get more and more of them, and then you'll get more and more situations that you're looking for and asking for and wanting. So put the desire out there and the intention that you're going to receive it, and just wait for it to come to you. When you go to bed tonight, think, tomorrow I want to run into an old friend, have a really good conversation with a stranger, have a really good experience at work that I get recognition for, eat something new I've never tried and enjoy, and have an easy commute to work. And just intend those and see them all and really want them, and then just release them, go to bed, and the next day that's what will happen for you. So you don't have to be so by the book with the law of attraction. It's good to listen to videos when you need them and to watch The Secret and read books and read processes, but just allow it more. Just let it be a lifestyle rather than something you're studying. Okay, can you impact a past event? Yes. maybe not so much in this lifetime, but in a split off personality's version of life. But, you know, some people are obsessed with World War II and they're always reading about it. Well, then, maybe because of this obsession and all these TV shows and documentaries, some new artifact gets discovered that was part of that era. Or people are really obsessed with finding gold and, you know, sunken ships treasure. Well, maybe this didn't exist, but all of a sudden, someone diving down in Spain discovers a sunken ship full of gold and strikes rich, but that ship never existed. It was just the asking, wanting, desire for it to be there so badly that it physically manifested. So it becomes a past event. And now there's research that goes into it to discover where did the ship come from, and all these theories are made up. So you can create the past and history just for your wanting of something now. What happens during the global ascension that is being discussed in spiritual groups? What happens during the global ascension? I think that you mean globally, people being lifted up through this new spiritual talk, and a mass collection and energy towards wanting others to be uplifted and others to understand law of attraction. Well, then it puts momentum behind it and it starts to move upwards. So the more energy that's put towards something, the quicker it manifests. And if you're talking about it, you might subconsciously be influencing your neighbors or your coworkers, and you're going to start naturally attracting people who are on the same wavelength as you. And then together, you're all going to have this collective energy that's pushing towards it. And, you know, within the next 50, 100 years, law of attraction is not going to be this, like, secretive thing people have discovered. It's the secret. It's going to be out there. It's going to be common knowledge. It's going to be something everybody knows, you're raised with. And, you know, in chapters of the bookstore, you go to the New Age section, and it's just this little 1/2 shelf. Now it's going to be 3 or 4 shelves. And it'll always sell out, because people are going to want more and more information on how to get what they want out of life once they discover how easy it is. So just see the earth as progressing and society is moving forward, and all of this information being public knowledge and being out there, and even people in Africa and Iraq and everywhere have access to this information to better their lives and get what they want out of life. Okay. What if I have a mixed vibration? What should my first action feeling be to shift it? Well, you've recognized that something's off, so that's the first step. And then ask for clarity and do writing on it. I want my vibration to be clear. I want to feel good. I want things to work out. Things are always working out for me. Everything is working towards my best interests. There's no confusion anymore. Everything is good for me. And then just see things as going smoothly. If it feels kind of crumpled and mixed up, just see it as going straight out. Think of like a string that's all knotted up, and just see it as solving itself, just being straight. And, you know, just be easy about it. Think, it might have been mixed up at one point, but it doesn't matter, because I am where I am, and it's all good. And it will all even itself out. Okay. What advice do you have for people who have a hard time meditating? Well, John likes to describe it as, it's like you're having a nap. So, use a guided meditation, and Esther has some. They're on YouTube. Mindfulness tracks. There's all sorts of ones where all you have to do is lay down and it just tells you what to do. They say breathe in, breathe out. Be relaxed. Enjoy the process. Think of something that makes you happy. Breathe in, breathe out, whatever. It just tells you what to do. Just follow it. And do it when you're tired. Do it before you go to bed, because then you'll fall asleep as you're doing it, and it will put you into a meditative, positive state that carries on through the night, that influences your dreams and your experiences in dreamland, and then you wake up feeling good. So, and maybe only do it for 10 minutes instead of 15 or 20. Never go over 20. Just do it for short bursts of time. Only do it when you want to. Don't feel that you have to do it every day. But if you decide to do like a 30-day 30-day challenge, just do it for short amounts of time and do it before you go to sleep, and that way you just fall asleep. Okay, so that's the last of the questions for now. Do you have one last one?
I guess a big thing that would be on people's mind is allowing more money into their experience. I mean, you look at people most people have mortgages, vehicle payments, and bills and all that stuff. And I know that always seems to be a big one that comes up, is how to let more money into their experience. What's the...
When you get inspiration, go with it, because your guides and source is trying to tell me, or to tell you, how to make more money. Because the big part of the earth experience is learning how to attract money and then be able to use it in a way that you can use it. So, see checks coming in the mail, print off bank account statements and change the numbers. Think of money just floating into your experience. Think of all the ways that you could get money. Think, oh, maybe I inherit a bunch of money because I have a long-lost grandfather who was loaded. Maybe I invested in property and now it's worth 10 times what it was. Maybe I have property that has a whole bunch of desirable logs on it, and now I can log them. And then you'll start being easier about it. You'll start seeing like, wow, there's lots of different ways that you could get money. If you feel inspired, buy a lotto ticket. Even if you only win $5, it's more money than you had before. And feeling delighted and feeling excited about it will help you to attract more and more. If you get inspiration suddenly to quit your job and to start a business and to move to a new province, a new state, new city, don't question it, just go with it. If it feels good and it feels exciting, go with it. If there's a business you want to invest in and it feels a really good idea, do it. Because maybe it turns out that you double your money within a month, 6 months, whatever. Just go with your inspiration and your gut and your spontaneous desire to do something, and that's when it's going to pay off. Ask for a raise at work if you think that you're in line for one, and when you're feeling good, and maybe you get one. Maybe you automatically are entitled to have one, and they just were about to tell you anyways. Nothing's set in stone, so just see money floating into your experience. See people around you as having lots of money, so naturally you're going to have lots of money too, because that's the next logical step. And, think of all the stuff that you have, and I could sell this, I could sell that, and then just think, wow, I've got so much money around me already. I have to attract more. And maybe talk to a financial advisor. I'm going to have a lot of money coming in soon, in the form of hundreds of thousands of dollars, and I need to know how to manage it. So what kind of options are there for me? And the more you learn about it and understand it, well, naturally you're just going to have to have money come to you. Look at the stock market and what kind of stocks do you want to invest in. Just start playing with it, and the more and more you look into it and research it, it's going to naturally have to come your way. If you start a new business, look at grants, because grants is free money. And are you eligible? New businesses, there's lots of options available, so maybe a bank from the loan, or a loan from the bank. Just look into all your options, and then money will just start coming to you. Okay, Sonia says, yes, you said to clear those blocks, but how? So if you're referring again to the mixed vibration, just by you acknowledging that there is a block, it changes it, it softens it, it makes it from going to a solid. You've hit the roof to, well, now there's possibility. So don't be so forceful with it. Just know something has blocked me and I want to remove it. And just maybe see like a brick wall that's preventing you from getting what you want, but now it's melting down. Now the wall's disappeared. Now it's dissipated. Someone has taken the wall away. A big crane has lifted the wall off. And now there's an opening. And now all I have to do is line up to get what I want. So maybe even don't put too much energy towards that specific thing. Just think of, I want to feel good. I want to be happy. I want things to be easy for me. And then everything will start falling into place for you. So for the money, you're saying, that was what my experience was then. This is what my experience is now. Yes, before I had limited funds, but now I'm flourishing. I'm rolling in money. I have so much money I don't even know what to do with it anymore. I've bought so many things that I like. Now I'm going to start investing. Now I'm going to start donating. I'm going to start traveling. I'm going to start giving money away to friends. And just play in your mind what you would do with all this money. Write a list of things you want to buy. Do the check game where you deposit $1,000 into your account each day, but you spend it every day. And each day you do 1,000 more. So you do 1,000, 2,000, 4, 10, 20, 100. And buy things every day. And that way, you know what you're going to buy with it. You're mentally spending all this money. So it's the equivalent, it's the same feeling as spending the money because you're excited about it. Print off pictures of things that you want. Do the magical creation box process. Get a wooden box that you like, even a shoe box that you put paper on and decorate. And read up on it. It's an Abraham process. You write on the inside, I think it's something like, whatever is in this box is. Something like that. Print out pictures of things that you want. Read that out. Put it in the box. Shut it away. After a couple months, check in the box. How much stuff have you manifested? Probably a few things. And things that you really want, like say there's a vehicle you want. Print out a picture of it where there's no prices on it, no brand names, no dealership names. Put it on your wall and look at it every day. Put it in your wallet. Think of how much you want it. And you'll start drawing it towards yourself because you're focused on it. If there's a house that you want, print that off. Just whatever you want, keep it near you. Keep your focus on it, but don't focus so much on it that you don't think about anything else. You've got to want it and intend it and know that it's going to come to you, but then you've got to let it go and let the universe work out the details so that they can bring it to you. So just eagerly expect it. Yeah.
I guess just one last thing, Seth, on all these questions. They everybody's asking, so the asking's the easy part. The big thing that people get hung up on is the allowing part. So can you just break that down just a little bit more? I guess, yeah, we're almost out of time anyways, but on any subject for allowing it in. 'Cause
It's almost like you forget about it. You just have to think, okay, I want this, so it's going to be mine, and now I'm letting it go. So still have the picture in the corner and look at it and think, that's awesome, I can't wait till I have that, that's so exciting. But don't try and do like a bunch of processes on it to try and manifest it. Just know that, look at all the things you manifested in the past. I have this apartment, I have this car, I have this boyfriend, I have these dishes, I have this cat, I have these clothes. Wow, I've manifested a lot of things. I have this necklace, I have these shoes, I have this job. And once you start realizing all the things you've already gotten, and even go back farther, when you're a kid, well, I got a bike, I got a quad, whatever. And you'll start realizing that things do come to you all the time, and often you didn't even ask for them, you just thought about them, and someone was psychic and on your same wavelength, and just happened to buy you that bike that you'd really wanted for Christmas. So, think back to all of the examples of the things in your life that you have already attracted and manifested, and you'll feel easier about letting the other ones go. Well, I've already got this car, so it's just natural for me to attract another vehicle that I also want, and now I want it more.
Okay, so make a list of all the positives in your life. List of like positive aspects, I guess, is
Yes.
that you have already created. Okay.
Yes. Even, and like, relationships count too. This brother that I hang out with all the time, this mom who cooks for me when I visit, this boyfriend who I love spending time with, this dog that I really enjoy going on walks with. Like, they all count too as things that you've manifested. So once you realize that, you'll feel lighter about allowing things to come to you, and then they'll naturally come quicker once there's less of a block of kind of demanding it comes to you rather than allowing it to come in.
Okay. Thank you for that, Seth.
Yes. Well, we are exactly an hour. So, next week we will switch back to evening. 6 to 7 Alberta time, MDT. And then the following week we'll do another morning one, perhaps 11 to 12, we'll see. We'll check all the time zones because I know there's people in India and Europe who are trying to tune in. And then from there we go on world tour. So, I will go now. Goodbye.